Hey everybody, it's Timothy here. Thanks for joining me at Mana Rocks. I am going to be jumping into a Rivals of Ixalan draft. Been doing okay in this format. I think it's fun. And let's see what we can open here. Well, this is definitely a money card if nothing else, so it's going to be my first pick on power level, but knowing that it's worth a couple tickets is also pretty nice. I've drafted Merfolk a grand total of one time, and it did not pan out very well, but that also wasn't a very good Merfolk deck, to be honest. Jadelight Ranger is not even committing you to Merfolk, it's just a very good green card. Either a 3 mana 2-1 that draws you a couple lands, or, becomes a 4-3. I think it's good. Other good cards in this pack, I think Darren Buccaneer is great if you're Pirates. Never really played this card. Sky Marcher, Luminous Bonds, Giltgrove Stalker coming back would be nice. Either of these Merfolk coming back would be sweet if I end up in Merfolk. And the rest of the pack's kind of okay. I will say Dusk Charger has gone up in my evaluations a little bit. I think it's a lot better. This card was not very good last time I tried it. Not impressed at all. As a follow-up to Jadelight Ranger, I kind of want to be either Dinos or Merfolk if possible. I don't think Jadecraft Artisan's a great follow-up. I just passed to Sky Marcher, but Sky Marcher's nice. Don't want to end up in like just a black-green deck if I can avoid it. But Sky Marcher is probably the best card in the pack. Could also take Hardy Veteran. It's good 2-drop. Secrets of the Golden City is pretty sweet too if I end up in Merfolk. This pack just doesn't have that much. Uncommon's missing. I could see a case for just taking Hardy Veteran or Jadecraft Artisan here. I don't want to push Merfolk for this card. Maybe I should just ask myself what the best card in the pack is here, and that's probably Sky Marcher. Played a lot of whatchamacallit so far. Could also take Evolving Wilds, but I think I'm just going to take a solid 2-drop to follow up my 3-drop with. And, ooh, it does look like some extra Merfolk coming around, which is nice. I don't hate Aquatic Incursion. It's better if you have a lot of, what are they called, Ascend cards in your deck, because it adds 3 permanents to the board. Jungle Pioneer is probably my pick, although Hunt the Weak's pretty good too. Jungle Pioneer does kind of push me towards Merfolk, and having Crash and Tide, Incursion, Hunt the Weak, and Jungle Pioneer leads me to believe that Merfolk might be open. Had I taken the Sky Marcher, I'd probably take Martyr of Dusk or Sanguine Glorifier, probably Dusk here. But I do like me a Jungleborn Pioneer. Follow that up with, I really want to Crash and Tide. I might wheel one though. Giltgrove Stalker. See, the problem with Merfolk is you need the payoffs to make Merfolk worth it. And most of the payoffs are in the form of rares and uncommons. But if I just load up on a bunch of decent 2-drops, that's fine too. Traveler's Amulet, Aggressive Urge, Crash and Tide, these are all fine playables. Ooh, Protean Raider. Protean Raider's a nice one. Sky Marcher, Aspirant, Forerunner. This pack's pretty good. Another Glorifier. Could take Sailor Means here. I'm not committed to another color yet. Protean Raider is pretty good. It's a sign that Red-Blue's open, but not necessarily that either of those other two are open. It is the best card in the pack, I think. Maybe Sky Marcher's better. Could take Sailor Means as well, because it's very likely I end up blue-green, and I do like having a Sailor. This helps me splash other things as well. Evolving Wilds does as well without committing to another color. Although I wouldn't say Sailor Means is necessarily committing either. I might just take Evolving Wilds here. Stay open on my colors. Alright, Expel is a pretty good sign. I think Expel's great. Mistcloaked Herald I don't think is great unless you end up with the Lords or Vine Shaper Mystics, but I do think Expel is pretty good. I like having interactive cards. Trailblazer's awesome. Knight of the Stampede, Aggressive Urge are fine. Vampires, we'd be getting paid off pretty hard, I think, if I had taken it. Wow, not Naturalized. That's not the card I was looking at. Goblin Trailblazer. Awakened Amalgam unfortunately doesn't do anything. I guess it gets pumped from Evolving Wilds. Sea Legs is my pick here. Not a very good one this late in the pack. I don't like Sea Legs. I think Jade Bearer is really bad even in a deck like this. Put a 1/1 counter on target Merfolk. Might just take Spirewinder, and Release to the Wind is interesting. I guess it's actually pretty solid with some of the 2-drops we have here. Could be an interesting card. Spirewinder is just solid, like it'll play pretty well in the deck. Release to the Wind has a couple combos, I guess. I don't mind this. Spirewinder is definitely the pick there, but science, right? We're going to try it out. I like the first Aggressive Urge over the second Sea Legs, and Strider Harness I don't care for. And a bunch of black cards. And no, I'm not even committed to blue here. Could take red. Like, if I end up red-green just stuff, I think that's fine. Decent 3-drop to follow up, or just a Sailor Means type card. It's more likely that I end up blue here. I don't think I want to be black, having passed all the vampires that have passed. Yeah, I'll take a swaggering Corsair. Follow that up with basically nothing. Orazka Raptor. Not going to play Pitiless Plunderer. Not going to play any of these other cards for that matter. So it started off well and petered out a little bit there at the end. Let's see if we wheel any of the stuff we were looking at. I don't think we're going to. So most likely to be green-blue, but possibly green-red. I'm not going to take another Raptor. Maybe green-white. Orazka Relic, is that a thing I want? Probably not. And Glorifier, and the Herald came back anyway, which is fine if I end up getting actual things. I mean, this is better with Jade Bearer, but not even that much. I don't really love this card, unless you have ways to pump it pretty aggressively. This pack's a little bit weak. For me, there's Jungle Pioneer and Water Knot. I think I'm just going to take Water Knot. Having basically no removal spells, I think I'm going to end up playing these, or playing blue-green at very least. May not end up playing all of these. Release to the Wind usually gets cut anyway. Jungleborn Pioneer is great, but Water Knot is also great. And we need actual interaction. Ooh, Warkite Marauder. Well, that's a good card. When it attacks, you shrink an opponent's creature, basically. Don't mind Cacophodon. There's a lot of green cards in this pack. It's very likely I wheel one of them. I don't hate having another Evolving Wilds either, although I don't have anything to splash, really. Jadecraft Artisan might be the card I want to wheel. Cacophodon's pretty good, too. But Warkite Marauder is awesome. It's an upgraded version of, what's it called? That other card? Ooh, Forerunner of the Heralds. Nice. Nice little sign that I'm getting this. I think this rare is pretty bad. It looks pretty cool, but it's pretty bad. Don't mind Forerunner. Forerunner's really good with these Pioneers. I did not get the Aquatic inversion back. Aquatic, whatever it's called. Alright, Decision Time. I don't think Enter the Unknown is a card I want. Fun little fact, Enter the Unknown is the same artist who did Path of Discovery, the two cards that explore in the set, basically. And they kind of tell a little story. It's pretty cool. Don't think I want Sailor Means unless I end up splashing. I do have Evolving Wilds, plus taking up Sailor means I could splash basically anything. I think Spirewinder is going to be my pick, though. Yeah, might even get Sailor back. Ooh. Ooh. Alright. Well, I think the options here are Hunt the Weak and Jungleborn Pioneer. I don't hate Dreadmaw. Pioneer is pretty good with Forerunner. It's pretty good with Spirewinder, anything that wants to ascend. Hunt the Weak might be necessary for my deck. I don't have huge creatures, though, so it's looking maybe a little weaker. I have a Bounce spell. I have Water Knot. I have Sea Legs. I don't have really hard removal here. I think I'm going to take Pioneer, though. That might be wrong. It might be correct to just take a hard removal spell. But the size of my creatures makes that a little bit skeptical, although it kills most things anyway. How do I feel about Journey to Eternity? I don't think this card's very good. I've seen it be good, but I don't think it's very good. I don't have any ways to kill my own creatures. It does stop your opponent from attacking into you for the most part, and I don't really have sack outlets or anything. Could take Traveler's Amulet, this really bad 2-drop Merfolk, or this not very good 3-drop Merfolk. At least River Darter has decks where it's decent. I think the ship has sailed on opening a ward or getting past any more of the sweet rares, which kind of sucks. And I don't think Journey to Eternity is what I want here, so River Darter it is. This looks okay at best right now. Hopefully, Pack 3 needs to be pretty good for us. And Dead Man's Chest doesn't do anything. Pirates Pillage, Soul of the Rapids, I suppose, is going to be my pick here. Just as a late game flyer. Not a very good one, but one we could play. Could also pick up a Naturalize. It's a good sideboard card. Might do that, actually. Don't care too much for Soul of the Rapids. Yeah, Naturalize. I do like having access to that. Alright, another Spirewinder is not bad. Over arguably a worse flyer. Soul of the Rapids is better if you have auras, but we don't have those, right? And Spirewinder is going to be ascended a good amount of time in my deck. Here I'm going to pick up Blood Sun because it's worth a couple tickets, and I'm not even trying to play the first River Darter. This isn't even like that amazing against dinosaurs. There's nothing else in the pack, so I'm going to snipe a Blood Sun. Ooh, well, everything wheeled. I mean, this is good. It's a good sign. Jadecraft Artisan's probably the best for my deck. It's good with the Mist Cloaked Herald. It's good with flyers in general, evasive creatures. I can fetch it with Forerunner. It's not like an amazing card, but I think it's going to be better than Cacophodon in my deck or Overgrown Armasaur. You can get your pick of cards you don't really want anyway. I guess I'll take a Soul of the Rapids. And I'm not playing 2 Sea Legs, I suppose. Maybe Enter the Unknown's decent with, like, Mistcloaked Herald, I guess. Don't think it's that good. Sworn Guardian is playable. Second Sworn Guardian is about as bad as the first Sworn Guardian. Alright, so pack 3, this is where we need to pick up. Prioritize removal and Merfolk payoff cards very highly. Because our deck looks like a pile right now. Pile of blue and green cards. Fleet Swallower, not quite what I'm looking for. Do have some options here, though. We have Chart a Course, Walk the Plank in case we want to target our non-merfolks. Just kidding, doesn't work. Storm Sculptor's okay, and Water Trap Weaver. Do like Water Trap Weaver, but I like Chart a Course more. I like having access to a draw spell like this. Water Trap Weaver would be great. I'm going to take Chart a Course. And follow that up with not much of anything. Maybe Ranging Raptors, just okay card. Grazing Whiptail is a good sideboard card. I don't think we main deck it here. Might. Siren's Ruse is not quite what we're looking for here. It's basically just another copy of this Release to the Wind. Probably a little bit better than Release to the Wind anyway. Yeah, I could take Slice and Twain as well, but having Naturalize already, I think Naturalize is going to be better than Slice and Twain most of the time. Whatever I'm taking here, it's not going to be that great. I think I'm going to take Whiptail, actually. Might play it. Might play it. Holds down the fort pretty well. We are not getting paid off here, are we? Don't want to play River Darter. Don't really want to play Enter the Unknown. Don't really want to play Soul of the Rapids. Or this deck, to be honest. Sworn Guardian's not great. Yeah, I don't know how we're winning games with what we have here. Oh, never mind. Here's some options. I think Dive Down's what I want most, but least what I need. I think Deeproot Champion's going to be fine. Just fine, though. Cast a non-creature spell, gets a +1/+1 counter. That doesn't even seem that great. Favorable wins. Don't have a lot of flyers. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not quite enough. Dive Down's good, but I'll take it. Well, there's a Dive Down. There's also a Pounce. I don't know how good Pounce is going to be in my deck. Doesn't seem like it's going to be that good very often. I guess it's fine with like some of my late game creatures, not very good with some of the early game creatures. I might just take it. Dive Down's good, but I need some form of interaction. Pounce is not the best for these Merfolk decks, but gets the job done, I suppose. Don't think I'm playing Sworn Guardian. It's not like I have actual Merfolk payoffs, aside from Forerunner. Might end up main decking Sea Legs. Yeah, this deck doesn't look that good to me. Well, there's a Water Trap Weaver. I do like that. I like it over the second Chart a Course, given that I wanted both of them. Marauder would be a good splash card, I think, and then Emergent Growth. It's not terrible in these sorts of decks. It doesn't Lava Axe your opponent when you have a Mistcloaked Herald, but not that impressive. Another interactive card's nice, Frostlinks, if you will. Verdant Rebirth, Jungle Delver, Blossom Dryads, Caravel. This was Dusk Legion Dreadnought. I'd probably take it, but Caravel, kind of weak. Guess it's a combo with Jadelight Ranger, I guess. Verdant Rebirth could be an interactive card if I end up trading stuff off. Blossom Dryad doesn't do anything in my deck. Yeah, I guess. I'm not playing this 8-drop, so Verdant Rebirth it is. Might not play it, though. Yeah, this card doesn't do too much. Despite having a Merfolk in the art, it is not a Merfolk card. Not feeling too impressed by what we've drafted here. Could have been Vampires. There was a Call to the Feast in that pack, too. Deeproot Waters, huh. And of course, here's all of the stuff we want. Working Chupacabra with Jadeite Ranger. Does that give -4, -4? I think it does. How many merfolk do we actually have? Product type, what? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 merfolk. It's not, I guess 9. It's not even a lot for deep root waters. Deep root water is not even that good, is it? I guess it's pretty good with Forerunner. Could just take a Windstrider here, though. There are 8 cards left, or 7 cards after that. I'm not getting anything else back. Could take Runaground as a interactive card. Ooh, Shaper's Apprentice is a pretty nice one to get this late. Storm Sculptor, I guess I'll take in this deck. It has a couple combos it can do here. Not a lot, but a couple. I have enough early game creatures to make it work. It's kind of a liability most of the time. I don't 100% not playing Fleet Swallower, so slice in twain for the board anyway. And those cards I wanted back. I don't think Favorable Winds has gotten much better, but Dive Down seems good. I'm not playing any of this. Guess I'll take Demystify. Never know when you're going to board in an off-color enchantment removal spell when you have a Naturalize and a Slice in Twain. Alright, so our removal's looking sketch. I mean, we have Water Knot, Expel from Araska, and Pounce. And Pounce isn't going to be that good most of the time. 28 cards. I'm not into Sea Legs at this point. I like Sea Legs as a sideboard card. I'm not into it as a main deck card. I don't really care for this Soul of the Rapids either. And you can easily play 16 lands in this deck. I have an Evolving Wilds too, which is fine, I suppose. So, looks like I'm going to be playing like 7 green, 8 blue or something like that. And it puts me at 8 and 9. But I need to cut 2 more cards first. Okay, let's see. Verdant Rebirth can come out. I think the card's fine, but it's not great. It is a little bit better with Deeproot Champion, I suppose. Not by much. Deeproot Champion doesn't even seem like it's going to be great here. It would be if I had like One with the Wind or something like that, get a little bit better, but as is, 2 mana 1/1 that needs a lot of work to get better. It's not a highly impressive card. Release to the Wind I think is going to be just okay in my deck. And I guess Shipwreck Looter can come out. And it seems fine. Like, we're trying to win the game with like Spire Winders and Windstrider, maybe Storm Sculptor. We're trying to win with those things because our ground creatures are going to get blanked, but I like, we have enough interaction, I think. Not extremely good interaction or anything like that, but enough. We can play games. We're going to go down a forest, add Evolving Wilds, and this is what we're playing. Converted mana cost, pretty decent curve, I suppose. Mistcloaked Herald. Do I even have a way to pump that? No. Alright, that doesn't look that good here, but I think I'm going to play it. Board it out on the draw, I suppose. Bring in River Darter when necessary. Sworn Guardians can be better than Hardy Veteran some amount of the time on the draw, particularly against an aggressive deck. Sea Legs is a decent sideboard card. Not bad sideboard cards. Verdant Rebirth's even good against players with a lot of removal. How do I feel about Enter the Unknown? 1 mana to either just draw another land or to put a counter on a creature. Could be okay. I don't think it's worth a slot in the deck, though. So, this is what we're playing. Last time I played Merfolk, it didn't go well. Let's see if it works out for us here. Hey y'all, Timothy here. We are playing blue-green Merfolk-ish. Not a lot of payoffs. I think you need the Lords or the Vineshaper Mystics for blue-green to be really that good. Our hand is kind of sketch with this double blue card, but at least we have a 2-drop. We're on the play. Hardy Veteran's fine. And Jungle Pioneer's a decent follow-up if we just draw green, so let's see what happens. My deck does not feel like a 3-0 deck, I will tell you that for sure. I don't want to say I forced Merfolk, but I could have been in just a decent vampire deck. It just seems like anytime you see vampire cards, you want to be in vampires. Uh-oh, are we going to get beat down by a better version of our deck? Oh, the island's a good draw. Does get me closer to Water Knot. And does mean I'm going to be able to cast these spells if need be. Let's see what the opponent brings at us. Also playing blue-green. Possibly green something splash and blue. Alright, they have a Gilt Grove Stalker. They're not blocking me. That's nice. I do get to play Jungle Pioneer. I could likewise play Water Trap Weaver, but I think they're incentivized to attack me, and then I can lock down whatever their next play is. Assuming it's not also a Jungle Pioneer. So we're going to trade 2 for 2. I would love a Curious Obsession. The enchantment that draws you a card whenever you hit your opponent. But this is not a bad curve either. Do just kind of want to rattle off lands here, to be honest. I can't block this, so I might as well F6 at this point. Swift Warden would have also been a pretty good one. Oh, not blocking it. The only gold I need is the Sheltering Shimmer of the Trees. Alright, whatever. Alright, 18-18. Let's see if they play a Jungleborn Pioneer. Oh no, a Sailor of Means. Okay. Well, good draw. Still going to go Water Trap Weaver here. Hold up my Invisible Seala. Then see if we need to start interacting with our opponent's creatures next turn. Just get in 5 damage if I lock Sailor Means. I think 5 damage is more important than getting in 2 and just making sure I don't get hit on the swing back. But we have nice interaction. We can keep jamming as long as our opponent doesn't play like stupid Soul of the Rapids. Excuse me. Something uninteractable. Jade Guardian would be pretty good. Jade Craft Artisan is okay. Are they going to get me for 4 this turn? It's probably Water Knot this one. Aggressive Urge would be an okay draw, I suppose. Lands are just decent right now as well. So I think I want to Water Knot this guy, and that gets me in for 2, 4, 6, 7 damage, and then I still have Expel, or I could just splash in Windstrider, but I don't get to attack this turn, so Water Knot it is. This is a match where being on the play is super important, because we wouldn't be in this situation where we could get ahead of our opponent if we were on the draw. Sailor Means does untap next turn too. We are 1 away from expelling as well and putting a card back on top. One thing I can do here is expel my Water Knot to tap down another creature instead, but that's kind of the same as just expelling on end step anyway, isn't it? Like, if they attack me, play a dude, block a 2, then they don't just die. Regisaur Alpha. Oh god. Wasn't expecting that one. Don't really want to expel it either, to be honest. Attack with Sailor Means, please. Might end up just expelling the 3/3 haste. Then I don't have any attacks, though. I could go for, because I imagine they're going to attack with these 2, leave back the other 2. If I expel 1, I attack with everything, they block a 2, they go down to 1. Oh, just the 3/3 haste. Well, now I'm expelling that for sure. And it's a token, so it doesn't really matter too much what happens to it. That can go on top of your library. Did I? Oh, Water Knot. I did have the City's Blessing. Okay. Well, that was something to consider there. Nothing going on here. I attack with everything. They eat a creature, trade for a creature, take 3, and then maybe I can kill them with Windstrider. Or they go, like, block, trade, block and eat it, block and eat it. That's better. Then they only take 2. I think I'm going to sit back for a turn, flash in Windstrider, and hope that's enough to get ahead of them. Note that Pounce would be okay here because my Hardy Veteran's bigger on my turn. It could take out their Gilt Grove Stalker. I've used 2 of my removal spells. Oh, they have a Mistbinder. Like I said, the better version of my deck. That's fine. I'm not too upset about it. At least this means I'm very likely to get in with Windstrider. Other dinos have haste. Looks like my opponent's splashing that off the red mana, which is respectable. I would do the same. And something. Oh, another Woodland Stream. Alright, so I should be able to get in one big hit with this. Drawing Aggressive Urge. Does that do it? If I attack with everything, they're at essentially 3. If they don't block a 2-power guy, Aggressive Urge gets them. But they can go block. Just for example, they can put the 1/4 in front of the 1/1. Or no, they can block a 2-power guy. They can eat a 2-power guy, and then I guess Merfolk Mistbinder could block the 1/1, or if it blocks a 2/2, they trade. Do I die that way if I attack with everything? They come back at me for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't die that way. I think I'm going to go for the win here. Let them eat 2 of my creatures, trade off a 3rd one for Mistbinder. They still have to deal with Windstrider. But if they don't block one of the 2/2s, then Aggressive Urge is enough to kill them. That's a tough call. Also, I guess Silver Means wouldn't kill the thing. This is risky business. I could just attack with Windstrider. I just need them to not block a 2/2, which block. They might put. I think they're incentivized to put Mistbinder in front of the Merfolk. But let's see if they trade off Merfolk Mistbinder. If they don't, I get to get them with Aggressive Urge. Just need them to block the 1/1 basically. 4, 5, 6, 7. If the Merfolk Mistbinder trades, I still get them for 7. Alright, yes. That's what I need. Lock it in, lock it in. That makes sense. Get the Merfolk off board. Yeah, let's do this here. And that should be 6. That should be enough. Sweet. That was kind of a risky play, but they went for it. I think they're incentivized to keep their Mistbinder on board. But they could have blocked a 2/2 and traded it off. And then if they had an answer for Windstrider, I'm in very poor spot that game. So it worked out in my favor. Did we see anything we want to bring something in against? I guess Verdant Rebirth is like whatever. River Darter is kind of whatever. These cards are all kind of whatever. I really don't like Mistcloak Herald on the draw. Sea Lake seems like it's going to be okay, though. Good against Guilt-Grove Stalker. Good against pretty much everything. And is Sworn Guardian better than Hardy Veteran here? Probably not. Probably not. So we'll submit again. And being on the draw makes me a little bit more nervous. My deck wants to be on the play, and our matchup, I'm imagine whoever plays first has some percentage of points to win the game over the other person. That's just how this format is. Opponent is going down to 6. Let's see if Release to the Wind does anything this game. We put it in our deck, so we're kind of committed. I think this hand's decent, though. Does have my colors with Evolving Wilds. Might as well just crack this now. I'm not threatening anything. Get that F6 value, as they call it. I guess it's just 6 value now. All right, what's your 2-drop? Nothing. Let me see. Did they scry? They scry to the bottom. Okay. Chart of Course is nice. Might be able to do some combination of like Sea Legs plus Chart of Course next turn if they play like Sailor of Means here. Oh, just Secrets of Golden City. Well, that gets them out of their draw, but it does mean or their mulligan, but it does mean I get to like safely Chart a Course here, not be under any real pressure. Let's go and jam for 2. Secrets is a good card. I think people initially underrated that, and I think they're at the point where people have recognized that Secrets is just pretty decent overall. We're going to Chart a Course, And I guess having water knot means I just kind of want the island down. Well, I have sea legs anyway, so want the island for that reason. So not F6 in case for some reason there's a reason I want to sea legs, which I don't really want to. I will probably just toss sea legs on this thing though. I'm gonna be using my mana pretty efficiently for the next couple turns, I think. Probably gonna go like Apprentice plus Aggressive Urge. Although they can't block my guy anyway. Yeah, let's just toss sea legs on that thing. Doesn't do anything on the Corsair. Dive down's not bad. It's good with Storm Sculptor. Although I think I want to wait on this guy for a couple turns. I'm ahead of my opponent. If I play Storm Sculptor and they answer it, then I fall behind my opponent a good bit, I think. Whereas I can go just like Shaper's Apprentice. I could Aggressive Urge right now. I think I just want this thing on board. I don't know, maybe Sculptor is better because then I can just play these two things next turn. And I think my opponent wants to commit resources to the board rather than take care of my creatures. Not 100% sure about that. And this is already fairly unblockable. Not 100%. Yeah, I would rather just play Storm Sculptor in a turn where I can dive down in response. Just make sure I'm not 2 for 1 in myself. If they attack, do I block? No, I think I want to keep pressure up on them. I can make that block at some future point if it gets too bad for me. Alright, another Corsair. Well, that's annoying. And a Woodland Stream. Okay, so now I can go for that play. If they want to block Apprentice, I think that's okay. Could even release to the wind. No, they say okay. They say whatevs. We will play Storm Sculptor, which actually only increases the amount of damage I'm dealing each turn by 1. Probably better to bounce the Flyer. This thing's basically unblockable. They're coming at me for 4 in the air. I'm coming at them for 5 on the ground, but mostly unblockable. They play a big creature, then Guildgrove Stalker gets a little bit worse. But I have interaction here. I have Dive Down. I mean, if they go for a removal spell and Sculptor, it's going to be pretty good. Prying Blade. I don't care too much about that. It does mean that they're hitting me for 5 this turn. They get some treasure tokens, but not too worried about it, I don't think. Another Secrets. Yeah, they definitely have the City's Blessing. So draw 3. That's good. They just harmonized for 3 mana. And Drover, you say? 1/1 Drover. All right. Not equipping this turn, though, so only hitting me for 4. I'm hitting them back for 5. We'll say okay. Would like to draw a land here. Ideally an island. All right. So what that lets me do is go Apprentice, hold down, dive down, and use Aggressive Urge if I want to. They can't block. I think I go for Aggressive Urge. No, maybe I don't even do that this turn. Could hold up Release to the Wind. This can get a blocker out of the way. It can exile your opponent's card. I mean, they can just play it again for free, but not at instant speed. Note that they can put Prying Blade on one of their guys and then be able to block this Guildgrove Stalker, but that's kind of whatever. I think I might be able to win next turn depending on what my opponent does. We shall see. Don't think I need to water knot anything. I think I'd rather just hold up Release to the Wind. If I need to use it on my own creature, that's fine. We'll just play Shaper Apprentice. So now I get to hold up Dive Down plus Release to the Wind and Aggressive Urge. So feeling pretty good. If my opponent goes Regisaur Alpha, that's going to be pretty strong. But I think I can get around that too. Yeah, it looks like they're playing Regisaur Alpha. Fine, fine, fine. Prying Blade on a Corsair. Just attack with your Flyers and they die. Is that right? Alright, so let's think here for a second. Our opponent, I mean, they could really only have sea legs. I'm not blocking this, so I suppose I can take it. They do have a treasure token. That's not insignificant. Hope they just use their mana here. But dive down makes me fairly safe. Okay, they're moving that to what? To Kitesail Corsair. Alright, now let's think here for just a moment. If I go Release to the Wind on... Gotta think here for a second. Is there a way to remove all three of these things from the board? Because this is 6 damage. I need to get all 3 of my creatures in to win next turn. I can dive down one, or I'm sorry, I can water knot one of them. I can release to the wind another one. Yeah, this can't get through all their creatures. So I think I'm just going to end up attacking with like both of these, keep this thing back to block or something like that, and then hope to win with Storm Sculptor, which means I don't think I'm using anything this turn. Could also force the trade on that, which seems okay. Alright, drew an island. It's fine. I'm not seeing the win this turn if I have it, so I think what I'm going to do is water knot this bad boy. Attack for 5. I guess I could just attack for 3. Even attempt to like just block with these 2 and then dive down plus aggressive urge gives me the win next turn. Assuming my opponent can't just kill me. Or actually, if Shaper Apprentice isn't going to be doing much, I'd rather... They could just not block. That's pretty bad. Alright, I think Storm Sculptor is going to come in. And I think I'm going to water knot something here. Because my line of win in here is Storm Sculptor plus aggressive urge. Alright, if I water knot something, it's probably going to be just the biggest creature. We'll see if our opponent can win next turn. It's going to be hard for them to through this release to the wind, I think. Plus I have dive down to protect my Storm Sculptor. If they have 2 removal spells, that might be enough. Let's see what happens. They could play a big dino that has haste. Then what do I do? As is, I'm just attempting to trade my creatures off here. Well, I guess trade off Shaper Apprentice for whichever flyer has the Prying Blade on it. Take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Could even release to the wind, just get rid of that dinosaur. Yeah, Prying Blade was relevant there. Otherwise, I would have been able to get rid of both of these things and just smash for the win with dive down backup. Tempest Caller. Well, that is not a thing I anticipated. So if that taps everything down, they go 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I can release to the wind one of them. So let's hope that's all they have. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If they have a dive down of their own, I think I'd just die here. They have 1 card left in hand, though. Let's hope it's not dive down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, let's go for it. Exile target non-land permanent. Yep. So here's the play. Tempest Caller is kind of brutal, though. All right, we got rid of it. Let's see if they can deal 3 more damage to me this turn. They get a treasure. I'm at 3. And we got it. Just barely. Tempest Caller is not something I was playing around. Ooh, that's a card. All right, so we got it. Cool. I'll see you guys in match 2. All right, back for round 2. Match 2, rather, against Malikani 27. Decent open in hand. Pounce not looking great here. I guess dive down plus pounce is enough to kill most things, but pounce should be good with Spirewinder later on. We are on the draw here, which does matter. I don't want to mulligan my hand. And action. Jungleborn Pioneer is a good draw. It is a good draw. So assuming I hit a 4th land on time, I do get to go 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop here. Looks like my opponent's not playing anything on 2. And 4-drop as well. It's pretty good. Alright, this is a decent start. Like I said, I think my deck's pretty mediocre, but starts like this is what we need to kind of keep up with our opponent. And their mono blue deck. Am I going to see a Sailor Means? The card has garnered an enormous amount of popularity. Alright, Crashing Tide is not terrible for me. It didn't really kill my guy. It did draw my opponent a card. I didn't get any of the Crashing Tides in pack 1 back, which I saw 2 back-to-back. My opponent still has nothing here. Sure. Well, I also have nothing to follow up with. At least I get to play 2-drop and hold up dive down, I suppose. Which isn't the worst thing in the world. Don't know what our opponent's second color is. Probably green if they're playing Crashing Tide. That's just a guess, really, but... And let's see. We are going to need to hit lands. Blue-black, so pirates? Oh, no. Well, you know what that means, right? That means they're going to go like Mark of the Vampire, smash you, or something like that. Just very uninteractable magic. Jadelight Ranger, oh, wrong colors. I can't interact with my opponent at all. But I can attack with the 2-power guys. And if they want to trade, that'd be awesome. It's not going to happen, though, right? Yeah, if they go Mark of the Vampire on this, I'm basically dead. I have nothing I can play here. I guess I could just play a Water Trap Weaver. Put more pressure on board. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Alright, fingers crossed, no Mark of the Vampire. Red mana? Alright, they could go all in on this Soul of the Rapids. Brazen Buccaneers, it's not the worst thing I could have seen there. And they drew a mountain. They made the common error of playing their land before exploring. No, they didn't make an error, they had to play that. That wasn't an error at all. Our opponent did correctly what they were supposed to do. Okay, what's our play? I think if they had Mark of the Vampire, they would have just smashed it, so that's good. What do we want to do here is the question. We can go Water Knot on this, attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, put our opponent down to 6. Could play Spirewinder, could play Jadecraft Artisans. Could even just pounce and trade 2 things off. If I attack with everything, like boom, 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 and they trade 1 off, they still take 4 damage that way. They can't block this. They go for some sort of trick. I can dive down in response. Kind of like the idea of going Water Knot here. There's not a lot they can have to stop me. Put them down to 6 is pretty significant. Could also just trade, put them down to 9, and play Spirewinder. Spirewinder is better with Pounce than my other creatures. What could they have for blue-black? Moment of Craven? So I think I'll just go for the attack, I suppose. Do I attack with this Merfolk and try to get in an extra damage, just let him eat my thing? I don't think so. Yeah, I think I'm fine trading one of my things here. They're just vanilla 2/2s at this point. Alright, let's see if they want to do something. No, so now I get to play Spirewinder, I suppose. 2 away from ascending as well. So if I draw a land next turn, I can ascend. I could also block Soul of the Rapids. Right, there's the mountain we know about. They still have 5 cards in hand, though, which is kind of scary. 7 mana, 5 cards in hand. And heavily debating whether to attack or not. Well, I'm not going to block. That seems silly. Another Soul of the Rapids. That's kind of gross. Land. Forest. Good. All right, so what's my play here? I can go Jadecraft Artisans, give like my Merfolk +2/+2, attack with everything. They have a pump spell. They get one of my guys, but if they have a removal spell, then dive down's pretty good against them. Could also alternatively just play Jadelight Ranger and hold up dive down. I think it's better to play this Artisans here. What am I giving +2 to? If I put it here, attack for 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They have to block something, and all of my guys eat their Soul of the Rapids. If I put it on one of the other creatures, yeah, I think I'm just going to put it on this Merfolk token. And then attack with everything. We are ascended now as well, and we have dive down to back up our things against a removal spell. So let's see what happens here. Let's see where they block. Alright, this looks like, I don't know, a Sure Strike or something. No, they just jumped it. Okay. Let's see if we're dead to their Soul of the Rapids. We're at 14. I don't think we're going to die, but who knows? They could have like Starve Extinction or something. I don't think the +0/+3 on dive down is going to be enough to live through a Starve Extinction. Quick, a meteor crashing into the earth. Let's dive down into the water. Alright, cool. So this looks like my opponent has like Mark of the Vampire type cards in their deck, which might be enough to bring in Naturalize, because the bounce spells don't work on whatchamacallit. They have double Soul of the Rapids, but we also didn't see any targets for Naturalize, so it's kind of sketch to bring it in. I think Mistcloaked Herald coming back out for just literally anything else. Sea Legs seemed pretty bad against our opponent. I guess Shipwreck Looter is a card I can bring in. I kind of want to bring in a Naturalize just in case. There's no way they're not playing Auras with double Soul of the Rapids. Maybe Slice and Twain's better for that reason. Alright, that's kind of a sketch sideboard option, but I feel like if you're playing double Soul of the Rapids and you're in the Grixis colors, which have the best Auras, you're probably playing some of those Auras. This hand seems pretty good. See if our opponent can draw their colors on time. And they are mulling again, scrying. Let's see, top or bottom? To the top this time. Alright, we'll lead off with Forest. And which of these do I actually play first? I guess Warkite Marauder is more likely to get in. Okay, so Corsair, sure. Forests? I guess islands are fine. I guess Guilt-Grove Stalker is now more likely to get in. I mean, I can Water Knot this if they go for an Aura on it, which is a possibility. Yeah, I like Warkite Marauder here. Could even trade if I really want to. This stops them from putting like Curious Obsession on this thing. My opponent knows very well I'm not blocking. Forest would be great here for Jadelight Ranger. Alright, opponent didn't play anything else though. And they have an upkeep stop on me, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So I might attack and then go Chart a Course and then play my land. I could also just play Guilt-Grove Stalker. That might be better. Oh yeah, shrink your thing, make it an 0/1, and hit you back for 2. Okay, just trade 2 for 2 is fine. I will go ahead and play Guilt-Grove Stalker here. And pass the turn. Holding up dive down in case they want to get cute with a removal spell or something like that. Unclaimed Territory. Is this going to name Pirate? Not Elemental? Crazy. And I'm being careful here to not F6 since I do have dive down. Probably use it to save a guy from a removal spell. Seems like a reasonable thing to do. Marauding Looter. That card's good. Might be good enough to Water Knot, although I guess Warkite Marauder shrinks it. This is a nice little combo. I water not it anyway. Let's see what we draw. Jungleborn Pioneer. Oh, do I need to water not it? I can definitely attack for 4 here, because I'm going to shrink this down to an 0-2. I'm sorry, an 0-1. This is not Serendib Sorcerer. And yeah, I guess just Jungleborn Pioneer. If they attack with this, I might even just chump with a 1-1. I don't really like going for the double block if I don't have action up. They discarded Mountain on the loot. This card's good. Like I was saying, it's possible to just splash it in this deck off of Evolving Wilds, maybe some treasure, although I don't think my deck makes any treasure, so. Buccaneers. Do you hit or do you miss? Alright, they miss. I mean, they get a land, but that being a 2-2 is relevant for me. They can smash for a lot of damage here. Alright. With 1 blue, they could have sea legs here, but I'm not going to play around it. I'm fine trading my 3-drop for their Marauder if that's what happens. And if they have sea legs or dive down, then you get a little bit blown out. Ooh, they have dive down. Okay, that's pretty good. So now we might have to play defense a little bit, although we did get that dive down out of their hand. Do need to start hitting some more lands. Up. Slice and Twain. Remember that Slice and Twain we brought in? Not looking very good here, is it? Guess I can go Chart a Course. Like, we're probably doing some blocks this next turn, I think. Could also just water not this and keep attacking. That seems fine. Okay. Convinced myself. Let's attack first. Alright. Take some more damage on the swing back. Pretty close game here. But we have action if we draw it. Ooh, I can Slice and Twain my water knot to draw a card. That's the real reason I brought it in. Slice and Twain probably coming back out here until I actually see an aura, which won't matter at this point. What was Slice and Twain? What did we take out for that? Mistcloaked Herald? Mistcloaked Herald would have been a better draw than Slice and Twain. Not a good draw, but a better draw. At least I could have gone Chart a Course plus Mistcloaked Herald. Trailblazer, you say? And a loot. Discarding 3 lands so far. Land? Deeproot Champion. Not great here. If I attack for 4, play Deeproot Champion, get attacked back for 6. I can kill my opponent on the swing back if they have nothing. So I think I play Deeproot Champion before combat. That way if I need to dive down mid-combat, this gets a counter. I could be dead to a lot of different things here, but I need to find a way to win this game somehow. Let's go shrink this thing. So what I'll probably do is block Deeproot Champion on Buccaneers and use Dive Down or something. Hopefully they go for like a pre-combat removal spell on it or something like that. I mean, I'm dead to Buccaneers Bravado on basically anything. Let's try it out. Yeah, this looks like Bravado. On that, 6, 7, 8. All right, cool. That's fine by me. That was going to happen regardless. I mean, we didn't draw past 3 lands, so it is what it is. All right, Slice and Twain, you're looking a lot worse. Bring back in, I guess, my Mistcloaked Herald. Could be Shipwreck Looter as well. A little unblockable dude is fine. Or Dudette. Never know. Well, I've drawn this both games this match and just blanked on the second green source. It's kind of sad, but I am only playing 8 green sources in my deck as opposed to the 9 blue sources. Do I have anything that cares about taking out flyers here? Not really. Sea legs is not a thing. Alright, I think that match might have gone a little differently if I'd hit lands. At least I'd be able to commit more creatures to the board, but Bravado was going to get me, I think, regardless of how I did anything there. Just got to be faster than the opponent, I think. And there was a chance they didn't have anything and I get to win the game there. Well, this seems solid. No interaction for the opponent, so it could be bad. Keep in mind, our opponent's mulled to 6 both of those first 2 games. Here we get to go Stalker into Apprentice, or vice versa. Opponent goes down to 6 again. And they bottom this time. Alright, it's back to me. Spirewinder seems decent here. Which of these is better? I guess if they play Corsair, I'd rather just have the thing that they can't possibly trade with, as opposed to the thing they might want to trade with. Ooh, Chart of Course is nice here. I think I will attack and just play the Apprentice. So I don't draw another land anyway, I'm not casting anything. Yeah, I don't need to Chart a Course here. I can still do that next turn, assuming nothing else changes. Headstrong Brew. Can't block. It's worth noting. Alright, and land. So maybe go Forerunner here. Definitely attacking for 4. Yeah, Forerunner seems the best. Get Jadelight Ranger, or I could just get Jungleborn Pioneer. It does guarantee I'm not hitting a land next turn, so maybe it's better to go Spirewinder. Nah, I like this thing. Actually, if I had a 5th land, that'd be great, but I'm really debating this turn because I want to make sure I stay ahead of my opponent. Spirewinder does a good job of doing that. This could potentially trade off for that. I don't know that I actually want to draw just a straight up another Merfolk next turn. Although the 3/3 that gives +2/2 would be pretty sweet. Then I attack for 10 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I could go next turn. I think I just want to hit lands here. So I am going to play Spirewinder, take a hit from Headstrong Brute, and pass. Forerunner is good on this board, but it does guarantee I'm not hitting a 5th land. I mean, I might not hit it anyway, but that's fine. All right, this is okay. That's a fine play. That was going to happen regardless of which creature I put in, and this has to attack basically since can't block. Oh, do they have a 1-mana spell here? Sea Legs. Weak. I have 2 Spirewinders in my deck. When did that happen? All right, still ahead of the opponent by a decent margin. If I can, I'll probably just block with this thing. Although I do have Release to the Wind. Gets around the Sea Legs. Release to the Wind is going to be better on Forerunner anyway, for the most part. All right, opponent keeping up the interaction. But no other pirate, so it's possible I just want to block here. No, I shouldn't have done that because that takes down my Ascend count. Makes my Spirewinders a little bit worse. Wow, another Sea Legs. All right, my opponent has neutered my board. We're just not drawing more cards. So I think what I'm going to do here is go attack for 0, Chart a Course, Warcart Marauder, try and hit more lands. Might be right to just play the Forerunner. This would be a pretty different game if I had played Forerunner. So we will chart, hope to hit some lands here. Maybe land plus 3-drop would be sweet. Well, it's not quite the land I wanted, but it is something. Play Marauder. Pass the turn. Take my 3. And they have black mana now. Alright, here comes Soul of the Rapids. What do we need to get here? I suppose we get another green in case we draw like Jade Light Ranger, but if we get another blue, I don't know. It doesn't really matter too much. I guess it kind of does, but not by that much. Jungleborn Pioneer. Alright, I'm going to swing with the Marauder. If they want to trade for Soul, that's fine. And then play, probably just flash in Windstrider. Am I dead to Buccaneer? 8, 9, 10, 11? No. 3, 4, 5. I could play this, put a 1-drop or a 2-drop Merfolk on top, and then go Pioneer plus 2-drop. Something along those lines. I could also hold up Aggressive Urge. This is the thing that gets in possibly the most damage on the next turn. 2, 3, 4, 5 on its own with these two. And then that'd be 6, 7, 8. If I play 2 more Merfolk next turn. I think I just like getting Windstrider down here. My opponent has 1 in hand. We know they have dive downs in their deck. Or at least a dive down. I think I'm going to let them attack. Put Guildgrove Stalker on Headstrong Brute. This card has served its purpose dutifully. And they have a Marauding Looter. Alright. Alright, this is getting close. Despite a really good draw from us. Jungleborn Pioneer seems pretty good here. Discard Sea Legs, draw another card. Discard Brazen Freebooter. Never mind, that Sea Legs was in the graveyard from my creature dying. Alright, what's the draw for us? Island. Alright, that's something, right? So, if I attack with both of my creatures, I get in 5, right? Then I am dead to to Buccaneer's Bravado. Because they use it on the Menace creature. I could just attack for 3. Put my opponent down to 7, play Jungleborn Pioneer, hold up Aggressive Urge or something along those lines. Don't want to just straight up die to Bravado if I can avoid it. But that means leaving a creature back as well. They have 1 in hand. I mean, they either had to draw it there or have to top deck it, and they have to attack with everything. Pioneer does mean I can block this, block here. But I can also just win the game if I get through on them. Oh, this is tough. Forerunner, Pioneer. See, the thing is, like, playing either one of these doesn't matter too much because they have a Menace creature on board. I guess I could play Spirewinder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's probably better to play Forerunner. Try to set up something next turn. Attack with both of these things. I'm going to play as though they don't have Bravado. And if they play Bravado, they can attack in such a way that they win the game. Should be annoying, but that's fine. So it's going to come down to whether they have it or not. Forerunner is kind of forced to block here. That would be 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, they would have exactly enough. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If they just have a removal spell for a guy, that's not quite enough. Let me Spirewinder, Aggressive Urge is something as well. This is tough. I guess Spirewinder does threaten to block just straight up this thing. So if they don't draw it, they're less inclined to attack. Let's see if they have it or not. Could also just have a removal spell. But then they're off by 1 point of damage. They can't attack with everything. They've had 2 draws to find a Bravado to just straight up eat my board. If they attack with Soul, I'm going to block with Spirewinder. Uh-oh, this looks like they might have it. So my block looks like this, I suppose. And if they do it on that, that's 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. And they have it. Alright, well, there's nothing we can do about that. I suppose I could have Aggressive Urged. Just curious, see if I drew like a removal spell or something. Nah, that wouldn't have done it. Yeah, I would have had to get 3 bodies on board or leave an attacker back, but this put us in a position to win next turn. So even though they had it, like, you know, there's a chance they don't. They're probably playing multiples, but they do kill us here, and we go to game 3. So thanks for watching. See you there. All right, back for match 3. We did lose match 1. Kind of a bummer, but we played in a way that we were dead to something, but also could have won through it. So let's see. This hand seems good. I might actually get to play Jadelight Ranger, and I am on the play. Playing against getting all up in that, whatever that means. And this will go fetch up probably an island since I already have forests. I guess it's more likely that I draw an island than a forest, so maybe I want to get a forest, but it doesn't actually matter that much since I have 2 of each in my hand. Let's get a forest. Play a Hardy Veteran. Water Knot, good draw there. Secretly want this to get a counter and draw me a land. That would be nice. And opponent not playing anything out of the white deck. Ooh, Water Trap Weaver. Forest for sure, since I am going to be playing Jadelight Ranger this turn. Taxis. And let's see what Ranger does. First time casting it. It was our first pick. Drew me 2 lands. Alright. Well, I guess I'm not drawing those lands, but jeez. Oh, opponent has nothing, though. Well, now I wish this was a 4-3. And they're discarding for turn. Pitching Spirewinder. Ooh, that's pretty good. Now I get to go Sculptor, bounce my Jadelight Ranger. That's pretty sweet. Take advantage of the fact that our opponent doesn't have lands here. Storm Sculptor, normally not what you want to run out too early unless you have a way to protect it, but the fact that my opponent's not doing anything and I get to reuse my Jadelight Ranger is nice. Blue-white. Okay. Blue-white. And first play of the game is going to be Emissary of Sunrise. Well, thankfully I can attack through that no matter what happens. Both my creatures can attack into it. One's unblockable, one's a 2-4, so 3-1 first strike wouldn't matter too much. I think my opponent just wants to hit a land here, since that's the case. Riverwise Augur, this is the Brainstorm Fish, which is a weird thing to say. I don't even need to play Water Trap Weaver if that's the case. I can save that for the turn after. Spirewinder does use my mana better, and I can go Jadelight plus Water Trap Weaver next turn. So let's go ahead and our opponent knows about islands. Let's just play some islands. Attack for 5. Play Spirewinder. As tempted as it is to just slam the Ranger, I have a better turn if I play Spirewinder this turn. Hold up that invisible dive down. Also, Spirewinder will ascend next turn if nothing else gets done. Opponent missing a land drop there really hurt him. It was 1 land drop, but it was enough for me to get them down to 9. I've got to play catch up now. Not saying it's impossible for them to catch up, but we're in a pretty good position. Storm Sculptor does quite a bit. Looks like they're bouncing Crashing Tide. Alright. That's pretty good. I mean, I get to reuse my Jadelight Ranger or Water Trap Weaver again. Yeah, I might not even use Water Trap Weaver if I draw a different creature. Yeah, that attack makes sense considering they can't really block, and I don't think they want to chump. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Can I put 3 permanents on board? 1, 2, 3. I can. Might just water knot this thing. Oh, they went Moment of Craven. Or Moment of Triumph. Just to gain 2 life? Seems kind of weird. Yeah, let's go ahead and put 2 permanents on board. Yeah, Water Trap Weaver seems fine, since I have Water Knot anyway. And this way I'm dealing 5 damage this turn. That'll keep his blocker down. I can take care of another blocker. I'm doing this all pre-combat, so I'll have the City's Blessing. This thing can go to the graveyard. Goodbye. And I drew a land. Alright, that's what we wanted. Drew a card and pitched a useless card to the graveyard. Alright, now my opponent's in a really bad spot. 6 life. I have something to lock down a creature. I have another unblockable creature coming in. They have 5 mana and 5 cards to play around with here. This looks like white-blue stuff right now. I don't end up in white-blue too often. I know a lot of people like it. I think one of the ways to end up in white-blue is just taking like Azor, which is something we might want to watch out for, but not much else we saw there. Just a collection of white and blue cards. Not enough to really sideboard, although Herald for sure can come out. Sea Lake seems fine against them. It's definitely better than Herald for the reason. Enter the Unknown still seems pretty bad, and we'll just submit the deck like that. So it's kind of a freebie win on the opponent with them missing that land drop, but geez, even missing 1 land drop, that was brutal. And our draw was pretty good. I mean, Jadelight Ranger coming down as a 4/3 would have been pretty significant instead. We would have dealt more damage, but I mean, it drew me 2 islands, which is not necessarily what you want, but that does mean you're not drawing those 2 islands for the next 2 turns. I think people often forget that if you're drawing lands off of your Explore triggers, then that does mean you're filtering through your deck a good bit. Card seems strong. Do like it. Do like it quite a bit. I also think, I don't know how much it's worth, but might pay for this draft or come close to it. I know in paper it's worth like 10 to 12 bucks. But that's a different story online. It's not a big priority for me when I play online. When I play in paper, I'm more inclined to value draft. When I play online, I'm just kind of like, whatever. This hand could definitely benefit from using a 2-drop, but it's still pretty keepable. Opponent's all mulligan. Going down to 5. They kept 5, and they're scrying to the bottom. So that's a little unfortunate, but at least they're on the play this time. I don't get to crush them. This is, in fact, a 2-drop. Not very good in my deck, but it's playable. All right, we'll play it here. I was hoping for a different 2-drop, but beggars can't be choosers. No land to all land. Sorry. Does happen sometimes. Does happen. Getting all up in that land. Sorry, that was. I didn't mean to kick him while he's down. I mean, that's probably a good sign for me, unless they hornswoggle me. See, this would have been a much better 2-drop. I will attack for 1, play Jadelight Ranger. Hopefully come down as a 4/3, but I still get to do the Sculptor thing again. Play Jadelight Ranger an additional time. My opponent not being able to interact is kind of a bummer. Jungle Pioneer can stay on top. I have interaction, I have lands. I don't mind keeping just a solid card on top here. And I'm less inclined to bounce this back now that it's a 4/3. Let's see what this is. Pious Interdiction. Ooh, Siren Reaver. Alright. If I play Water Trap Weaver, I attack for 5 this turn. Could also play Storm Sculptor. I don't like that play as much. And then next turn go Boom Boom. Bounce Jungle. Ooh, yeah, that seems good. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and tap his guy down. Or her guy down. Don't know for sure. Yeah, it looks like they're just a blue-white flyer deck of some sort. Spirewinder, Siren Reaver. They're not out of this game at the moment. They're definitely not. If they can start deploying threats to deal with my guys, that's pretty good. In fact, I might go Storm Sculptor on Water Trap Weaver, I think. Corsair, a little late to the party. That's probably what my opponent drew that turn, or last turn. They could have drawn it last turn. Ooh, Brazen Whiptail's good here. I'm going to attack with everything. Yeah, for sure, just attacking with everything. No fear of bounce or pump spells. If they have one, that's fine. Getting it out of their hand. Then I'll probably go like Storm Sculptor, bounce Water Trap Weaver. Could even just play Brazen Whiptail. They only have 2 cards in hand. It does look like they have something. Ooh, Slash of Talon's my guy. I don't have any way to deal with that. I'm just going to take 5, though. I would be 100% okay with this trade. Make Deeproot Champion look like a boss. Even my opponent knows it's not. They can't justify that. So what do I do here? They killed the play I wanted to make, so I think I just go Grazing Whiptail now. Or I could go Hardy Veteran plus Jungleborn Pioneer. That seems better. Just keep the pressure on him. Hardy Veteran pretty good on this board. I don't need to play defensive at the moment. I need to play offensive. 1 left in hand, 6 lands. What is this? Big boy? So the Rapids. Seeing a lot of that. Yeah, this is definitely like some favorable wins deck or something like that. This is what Blue White wants to do. Just flyers. Alright, that's a good draw too. So I'm going to attack with all of these things. Well, I guess I can attack with these 3 and set up whatever trades my opponent wants to do. I'm fine with my opponent taking any of this and just blocking any of this. They could trade off the whole board. They can't. Actually, they can't do that. You're lucky I got mana both games. Alright, well, I mean, I'm not going to respond to that. I wouldn't say I'm lucky. I would say my opponent's unfortunate. I don't think anything about my draw indicated good luck, but I understand what my opponent's saying. I think when you're playing against other people, I don't think it's right to tell the other person, oh, you got lucky because I had problems. I think you should just call it what it is. Yeah, my opponent got, some mana problems, but sure, they got started on turn 4, but they cast spells, right? They had an interactive spell. They got 3 things on board. I wouldn't necessarily call that unlucky, or I wouldn't say what I drew was lucky. Also, and I know I'm making a big deal out of it, don't need to, but that diminishes your opponent's play. If you tell them, oh, you just got lucky, it means that, oh, you didn't make decisions. Like, sometimes there aren't decisions to actually be made. Let's see, if I attack with everything and they eat a 1/1, they take 6. I think I'm fine with that at this point. They can eat a 1/1. Maybe I'm griping a little bit too hard on my opponent there. I just don't think you should diminish what the opponent did. If I get mana screwed but my opponent still played very well, like, they didn't get lucky, they played well. I mean, even when it comes down to, playing your cards in such a way that you're maximizing your mana or something like that, I don't know. I'm just being stupid. I'm going to go ahead and actually play the Storm Sculptor, bounce Hardy Veteran, and replay it. Actually, you know what? Don't bounce Hardy Veteran, bounce this stupid Deeproot Elite, because I'd rather block with that against some really dumb white-blue haste creature. And now they have to deal with Storm Sculptor or game over. And I'm not saying my opponent's like bad for saying that. I'm just saying like I understand their issues with the mana, but don't diminish what your opponent did. Yeah, I'm sorry, bud. I would say GG there, but it wasn't really a GG, was it? I mean, it was a game. Yeah, we lost that match too, though, to Bravado, which you can't be too mad about. I could have played around it, but not in a perfectly productive way. Perhaps I could have, but I decided to get greedy and go for the win, and it didn't work out in my. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the draft. Merfolk, that wasn't an impressive Merfolk. I didn't have a Lord. I didn't have any of the really good Merfolk rares. Like Jadelight Ranger isn't even a Merfolk rare. It is a Merfolk. It is a rare, but it's not a card that is significantly better or worse in a Merfolk deck. It's just a good card. But it played out well there, and we played against a lot of opponents who mulliganed, lost one, won two. Seems pretty good to me. I appreciate you guys joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video and the draft, and as always, Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with other people. Get some exposure. That'd be nice, right? I might start drafting with some partners in a couple weeks and just get some partner videos up. But at any rate, if that's something you like to see, let me know. Anything you saw in the draft, let me know. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.